Good evening, gang. Happy Saturday night. The last one before we turn our clocks back. So, all right, let's see if we can get some screen time here and see it. Okay, Prep Rebels is 5x5. I don't even see my screen. Here comes my screen. Okay, so now I can see me. That's a good thing. All right, let me get this adjusted here so I can see what's going on. Okay, so noticed we have a superstar in the crowd here. Constantine from Inside Rush is here. So if y'all don't know, if you don't know Constantine, go check out his channel. Mods, if you want to put the link up for Constantine, I'd appreciate it. If you want to really know what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine right now, yeah, pay attention over there. He did a real good video the other day on the true economy. It was kind of funny. As to just like the lies we hear about, oh, the economy's doing great, and it's the same thing the politicians over there are spending, and the people are saying not so much. So yes, but my friend, welcome. Sorry you can't sleep, but glad you stopped on in. So hope you have some fun here tonight. Tonight's going to be an interesting one. So yes, interesting day for me today. Like I said in the description there, if I can't get something broken today, I don't know what the hell is. Getting ready for spring here. Can't get my side-by-side to start. That's going to suck because hauling around plants and everything like that by hand isn't any good. So, gee, I get to go out and get that fixed. And then in the process of working on the garage today, all of a sudden my brand new garage door needs to be fixed. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So yeah, all of a sudden the door went halfway down, wouldn't go up, wouldn't go down. I had to disassemble stuff, and it's like, okay, just had this thing put in 4 months ago. Come out and fix it. But when I got to take it apart to secure the garage, that's a problem. So yeah, that wasn't fun. So that was it. As a follow-up to this morning's video with what you guys know as Silicon Valley Bank yesterday, if anybody caught this evening, there is a somewhat bank run starting on First Republic Bank out in California. It's also in Silicon Valley. This one's more of a consumer bank than a VC type bank. But there's all sorts of video on this one too about long lines of people waiting to use ATM machines to take their money out. Just like we saw with Silicon Valley Bank. Now, Silicon Valley Bank does a lot of financing for venture capitalists and stuff like that, but they also had a lot of customers. They're not just in Silicon Valley. There are a lot of people in New York, for example, that couldn't get any money out. Gee, live in New York City and don't have money. That's a problem because you can't walk across the street without having to pay some sort of tax. But yeah, so that was the interesting one today. So if you bank at First Republic Bank, pay attention to what's going on. Apparently the people aren't too happy there and they're pulling money out like crazy. So that may be the next domino to fall on Monday morning. Rumors out there, Elon Musk is considering buying Silicon Valley Bank. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't think that the FTC would approve that one, but we'll see what happens. Go for it. Just whatever. But yes, me, I'm a little frazzled today. I'm lucky I can remember my name, which is good. Just too many things going on. Wanted to give you a funny one, though. This was, one of y'all sent this to me yesterday. You guys know what ChatGPT is, right? It's this new artificial intelligence on your computer where you can ask the computer questions and it'll give all sorts of answers to you. One of y'all decided to ask about this channel. She asked about her own channel, and then she figured, hey, I'll ask about pinball, too. The interesting part that ChatGPT came up with, it said I was a prepper channel and talked about different prepper things. Also said I spun my love of the game of pinball into the channel, talked about how to build a homemade pinball machine. related pinball to prepping. So in other words, it's bullshitting on its ass. And then also said, run by a guy by the name of Eric. Y'all don't know my name, but I will tell you this, it ain't Eric. So yeah, if you want to believe what ChatGPT says, go ahead. But yeah, I wouldn't count on it for accurate information. So, but hey, because remember, just because it's on the internet doesn't make it true. All right. Uncommon News, thank you for the super chat there. Yeah, you said 2 more spills. Were these, I'm trying to look over the top of my computer. Are these train derailments again or whatever? And you said 1 was intentional. I have not really paid attention to the news today. I've been fixing stuff. So that's been all the interesting stuff there. So go through my best, no PJ, my best friends do not call me Eric. Nobody calls me Eric. So nobody better, because I'm not going to answer you call me Eric. It ain't my name. All right. So 2,600 of you guys in here. I know what the reason is. We are giving away the Afery 2000 tonight. And so we might as well get right into this. I will let all those of you that are new know how this works. Okay. You had to enter on the video the other day. You had to follow the directions. Okay. I will draw a name with the YouTube random comment picker. You'll see it live right in front of you. The entry that I pick must have the state in which the person lives, the contiguous 48 only, and must have their favorite sweat hog from the old TV show Welcome Back, Kotter. Okay. If either of those things are missing, it is not a valid entry. That person does not win. Once I call a name, that person, whoever's name I call, will have 3 minutes to reply in the chat that they are here. This is a must be present to win. If they do not reply in 3 minutes, we draw another name. Okay. What I will beg of everybody, like I do always, when we draw the name, guys, please cease and desist from making comments in the chat. We're trying to, the moderators and I are trying to watch nearly 3,000 of you guys commenting, looking for one person's name. Now, mind you, there's the 90-second timeout in between your comments. You have 3 minutes. It means if somebody comments and we don't see it, okay, they're only going to get one more chance. And if we don't see it again, you'd be really pissed if that was you and I didn't see your name. See you say you were here and you won. You're like, wait, I was here. Just saying. Please have some respect for everybody else. When we draw the name, cease on all comments. No comments, okay? The moderators will put you in a timeout if you violate that law, and then you won't be commenting for a while. Okay, you'll get a 5-minute timeout real fast, okay, for violating this. So when I say I'm about to draw the name, stop. Just have a little respect for the moderators and me. That's all we're asking, okay? Jeffrey, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Go toward postage on this thing. 50 pounds, and it's sitting right by my front door waiting for a sticker to be put on it. So we will get that all done. So I've got it here. It's being sent by me, not by the company. This is not an Elliott deal. This is a different one. So, all right. But you guys saw my review. It's a really good generator. So I was very impressed with it. All right. So let's flip over to this thing. And where's the, do that. And see if I can get that lined up so you guys can see it. All right, so on the right-hand side here, I have the video from, what was it, Friday? Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning. How many days ago? All right, and then we are going to remove the duplicate users. Everybody only gets 1 entry. I don't care if you have 15 entries in there, you're only getting 1. So that's why I say, don't put replies in, because we do not include replies, and don't make it in 2 different comments or whatever. Whatever comment the system picks is the one you're stuck with. So that's why I go there. All right. So then it's going to probably ask me to do this twice. 8 plus 9 is a whopping 17. It'll pick our comments. All right. Let's see how many we got. Da, 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 da. 14, 15, ticking on along. 2,218 comments. Okay, not as many as we had last Tuesday, which may have a lot to do with the fact of they didn't want to go back and watch the other video. So, all right, guys, like the mods are saying right now, hold all your comments, please. Do not do anything. You comment after I said this right now, you are going to get a 300-second timeout. Okay, so we will make sure. Unfortunately, what you're doing by getting that 300-second timeout is you're removing yourself from eligibility to win, because that's 5 minutes and you only have 3 minutes to name it. So, if you want a chance to win, shut up. All right, here we go. Bottom left-hand corner, we're going to hit start. B. Mitch. 6 grounding plugs. That is awesome. Love the fast charging. This South Carolina, there's one girl, will be able to keep my phone charged so I can make some coffee and watch a little Vinnie Barbarino. That'll work. There's 2. B. Mitch has correctly been chosen. So now let's see if B. Mitch is here. All right, so B. Mitch, it is 9:10. You have until 9:13 to announce your presence. So let me get in here. Yep, me, I am here. There we go. All right, B. Mitch is here. We have our winner. Congratulations. What I will need you to do is email me your physical address. I'm going to send this to you UPS. It'll probably go out Monday or Tuesday whenever UPS is in town, in the neighborhood again, and I can catch the truck. I'm not driving all the way to Knoxville, drop this thing off. So they come around here enough, dropping stuff off. That'll be it. But email me your name and address, and I will get this out to you beginning of the week. You should have it by the end of the week. But congratulations. So there we go. We have another winner. All right, now let me get myself reorganized so we can get into the normal festivities of the evening. Get myself where I can see what is going on here. And move that there. Okay. So, all right, congratulations there. I'm going to tip this down so I'm not, there we go, that's better. Okay, so we will get into our normal Tuesday night, Saturday night deal. We'll get into our Q&A. Again, for everybody that's new, we'll explain how this all works. This is all about you guys. Whatever you guys want to talk about is what we talk about. All we can do is answer questions. I do not have all the answers, guys. Got a lot of them, but not all of them. Okay? I'm never going to I'm not going to bullshit you and say I know something when I don't. I'll tell you flat out, I don't know. However, watch the comments, because inevitably there's somebody in here who does know the answers to the questions. So, I encourage everybody to participate in the chat. What I do ask is, if you're going to have conversations amongst yourselves, please keep them in lowercase letters. If you have questions for me, please put them in uppercase letters, okay, caps, just like every other YouTube channel. That way I know that it's directed toward me. It makes it a lot easier for me to see what you guys are asking. The one thing I do require is that everybody treat everybody else in here with respect. That includes me, okay? I don't want to hear any, you're an idiot, you're an asshole, whatever it would be. That'll get you tossed real fast by the moderators. Moderators been doing this long enough. Trust me, you won't blink and you'll be gone. All right, so please treat others with respect in here. Disagreeing is totally fine. I've got no problem with that. Being rude is not allowed. So let's just leave it that way. My house, my rules. There you go. And Moonlight Gardner, thank you for the super chat. Is the storm going to hold me up in putting my seedlings out? The cold weather is going to. It's supposed to get down to, was it 26 on Tuesday or whatever? So they're all still sitting in the greenhouse. The peas are out on the picnic table. They can handle this. The cabbage is already in the ground. Some of my onions are already in the ground. So but The other stuff, peppers and stuff, they got a while to go. They haven't even been transplanted to bigger cups yet, and flowers are still just starting to come up. Ed, thank you with the for the super chat to help with the shipping. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, all right, let's get up to the top here, and we'll go after all the congratulations and see what there. Holly H, how much stock do you think Paulie P sold before the bank crashed? I don't know who Paulie P is, but there was quite the CEO, COO, CFO. Ironically, a couple of weeks ago, were selling a lot of stock and saying, "Oh, well, this is part of their normal trading." And yet, yeah, we'll see if the SEC investigates them at all. As who was it? Somebody came out today. I forget. Oh, it was uh, what's his name? Bernie Marcus from Home Depot says, yeah, he doubts there'll be any investigation because they were a woke bank. So that was about it. But yeah, I have no idea who Paulie P is. So, Batman's lady, are credit unions any safer than banks? Yeah, maybe. Okay. I mean, again, it all depends on how the credit union, how the bank, whatever, invests their money. And like I told you guys this morning, maybe it was yesterday, one of the two videos, Silicon Valley Bank had 57% of their investments in treasury bonds. Okay. And because of the massive hiking of rates that Jerome Powell's doing, it's caused the value of the bonds to go down. They didn't have the cash, and then they can't find buyers when they need to liquidate because buyers are going, why the hell do we want to buy that paper when we can buy, new bonds paying a higher interest rate? Granted, we're paying full price rather than a discount, but Silicon Valley was trying to sell stuff at a loss to pay their depositors, and nobody wanted to buy it on the cheap because the interest rates were better to buy the fresh paper. So, depends on what your credit union invests in. Credit unions in one respect are just like banks. They're there to make money. And, they're not just taking all your deposits and sticking it in a vault in the back. They're loaning it out to businesses and people and buying cars and whatever. And, things that they have extra, they're putting it somewhere. They need to somehow turn a profit because all those people that work at the credit union ain't working for free. So, yeah, they've got to make money somehow, and depending on what they're investing in, if the investment goes bad, that could be it. But, again, like I said, 57% in treasury bonds, and you end up insolvent. So, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Dara, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate you appreciating me. Try to do what I can do. Let's see. Malaysia Mom, how far or widespread do you think the bank bankruptcies will go? We'll see. I mean, this is going to be a big problem for startup companies for sure. They just lost one of their biggest sources of capital, so you're not going to see innovation coming to market as fast. This is in the tech sector, which is going to crush the tech sector. And again, the underlying reason that Bidenflation is the cause of this, we could see a lot more. I mean, again, imagine things that are going on here. Remember 2008, 2009, when all of a sudden nobody could pay their mortgage, right? And you had Washington Mutual go under, Lehman Brothers, because they were in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, so heavily. Imagine the same thing now. Bidenflation keeps on eating. What did I tell you guys the other day? Mortgage delinquencies are down, but credit card delinquencies and car repossessions are up. Well, if the bank is heavily in credit cards or heavily in cars, automobile financing, that hurts. I did repo, guys. This was 1991, 92, somewhere around there. Trust me, when you're repoing a car, the cars ain't in that great shape. The people stop making payments on it. They're not waxing the car and cleaning it and doing whatever it is. They don't care what happens to it. Oh, it's all banged up, whatever it would be. Can't tell you how many cars we pulled that wouldn't run. Okay, we had a tow out. The banks then have to try to sell them. Well, the bank wrote a note. Think of what a car costs now. Bank wrote a note for $50,000. The car's now worth 10. The bank's out 40 grand, and that's it. Let that happen a couple of hundred times, and all of a sudden the bank goes, "We lost $4 million on our auto financing this month." At one branch. You know, Gee, we had that happen at 10 branches. We lost $40 million. How long till the bank's insolvent? It doesn't take that much. Okay. As Bidenflation keeps destroying the economy, you will see more and more and more of this. Catherine Smalley, what to do about trusts with the bank failure? Are they insured? When it comes to trusts, you're going to need to talk to an attorney. Okay. There are a million different kinds of trusts, and so I can't lump them all into one and discuss what it is. But no trusts are not, well, I can't even say that. I can't say they're not insured because it depends on the kind of trust. You need to talk to an attorney. That's the only thing I can say on that one. We talked about credit unions. Credit union. It's me. Do I expect a Monday run on the banks? I don't know. Okay. The First Republic thing, that could be a sign of something. Look what happened with Silicon Valley Bank. The stock tanked the day before everything went to hell. Silicon Valley Bank stock, I think, was down like 52% on Friday. So that can be a big problem there. You may see that one fall next week. I don't know. I don't want to panic anybody, say, oh yeah, expect 5 more banks to go. I have no way of knowing that. Okay. The question I have is, where is the regulatory board on watching these banks when all of a sudden in the 24-hour period the bank goes from, mind you this, Jim Cramer on CNBC, Jim, you want to make money in the stock market, do exactly the opposite of what Jim Cramer says, okay? I've seen him for 30 years. The guy's never right, okay? If you were contrarian to what he did, you'd be a billionaire by now. 2 weeks ago, he was on CNBC touting Silicon Valley Bank, saying how undervalued it was, and it was something that everybody needs to buy. Okay. Anybody that bought it now has nothing because the stock is now at 0. Okay. But his latest tout, just to give you this, is JP Morgan Chase. So just say it. Mr. Kipling. Josh, thank you for the super chat. A little help from the shipping. I do appreciate that. I think I got everybody else in there. Okay. Bobby Garza, what do I like to dehydrate? Fish, ironically. We dehydrate fish. Fruits are probably the best thing I like to dehydrate, whether they're peaches or strawberries or apples or something like that, or bananas or whatever, because they make good little snacks when you're sitting there watching a movie or whatever, and rather than eat a bunch of popcorn, I pop, some dehydrated strawberries, and I'm good. So, oh yeah, I'll give you this. Amir, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like I said, on bank runs, they're all by design. That this is just trying to lean us towards CBDC. This is the whole thing. I'll give you this. Forgot to mention this one. We actually ate asparagus this week from the garden. Went outside and picked, probably about 8, maybe 9 spears of asparagus. One of them was almost 2.5 feet high. Okay, all of a sudden I walked out there. I was like, "What the hell is that?" I was like, "Crap, it's asparagus." There's some good ones that are about 1 foot high. That one, the big one, was pretty woody, but it was just nice that we actually were able to eat another thing out of our garden already this year. So lettuce and asparagus, and it's the 11th of March. So happy there. Steve Williams, how do I freeze bread? Mine always comes out 2 weeks late with hard crust. Okay. I don't get the comes out 2 weeks late with hard. How do you freeze bread? Throw it in the freezer. I mean, I've never had a problem with it. It's the thawing out of it. That's going to give you you throw a loaf of bread in the freezer, just in the bag it's in. Never had a problem with it. It's not going to come out as soft and fluffy, but you want to make toast, it's fine. Or use it for cooking. It's not going to be the same freshly baked texture that you got. I don't even care if it's cheap bread that you come out. I mean, you guys know as well as I do. When you freeze something, it doesn't come out the same when you thaw it out. It's slightly different. Little Hillside Homestead. Do I know why Alaska Prepper is not YouTubing? He took a month off. I talked to him when he said he was, okay, and that's his story to tell, okay. But he said he was just going to take a month off. He's got some personal things to take care of, and that's good enough for me. I will let him go into details with everybody when he comes back or whatever it is. Okay, not my place to talk about. But he is fine. So, Becky Reed, Pinball, if there's a financial collapse, what will happen to mortgages and credit card debt? It'll just get bought by another servicer. That's it. No different than any other time you get that notification in your mail. We're transferring your mortgage service from Wells Fargo to Bank of America or Cross Country or whoever, whatever it is. It's all that'll happen. If Silicon Valley Bank had a bunch of mortgages, and all those will be done is sold off to another servicer who's like, cool, we don't have to do anything for it. Now we get to collect the interest on it. Great, no problem. So, yeah, it's not like you get out from under your debt. Sorry. Same with the credit cards and stuff like that. It's just going to go to a new bank. You'll get issued a new credit card with the same debt you still owe. Copper Goat, my favorite trap crop, nasturtiums. Easiest question out there. Plant nasturtiums near your cucumbers, near your peppers, near your tomatoes, whatever it is. All the aphids and everything like that would rather munch on the nasturtiums than they would your vegetables. So plant nasturtiums, put them in a pot, plant them next to the crops, let them munch on that, and go. If they don't, they're pretty flowers. If they do, great. I lost a potted flower and kept all my vegetables. I've already talked about credit unions a few times. Crazy Rabbit Lady, what solar panels do I recommend for the generator given away today? Okay. Again, if you're going to use the portable panels, I'm always going to go with the 12C bands that I tell you about. Those are MC4 connectors. They will work fine with this generator. This one will take up to 4 of those because it'll take 500 watts of power. And the 12C bands are 120 watt. So 120 times 4, 480. Okay, as close as you're going to get. That would be what I'm going to recommend. If you are looking at hooking it up to a solar array of hard panels or whatever it is, anything that uses an MC4 connector is going to be fine, which is 90% of the panels out there. So, Nancy Johnson, can I recommend a small caliber for a 68-year-old woman? Well, it's not the caliber that necessarily makes the difference. It's how comfortable you are. I mean, you get a 22, you can get a 38, whatever would be. I mean, those are fine. But, I mean, you can get large 22 handguns. You can get large 38 handguns. You can get small ones, too. So the caliber of the weapon doesn't necessarily make too much of a difference. Yeah, there's going to be more recoil. You're not going to go out and buy a Desert Eagle or something like that and start shooting 50 cal bullets around. Okay. But what I will recommend is go to a gun shop, and the salesman at a gun shop will take all the time that you need. I mean, if you're there for 2 hours and you want to handle 10 different guns and ask questions, that's what they do. Okay. The best weapon for anybody to have is the one they are most comfortable with. Okay. If you've got small hands or the recoil is going to get you, tell that to the gun shop owner, and they'll be able to point you to a specific handgun that would be beneficial to you. I mean, the smaller the caliber, for the most part, the less recoil you're going to have. Okay, 22 is not going to kick nearly as much as a 9 millimeter or a 45 or something like that. Uh, but again, you're not going to have the stopping power with the 22 that you are going to have with a 9 millimeter or a 45 or whatever. Just go there. But my recommendation: go to a gun shop and talk to the guys there. Hold the gun in your hand. See what feels comfortable to you. Because a gun is useless if you're not comfortable using it. If you're afraid to use it, if it's this is too big for me, then use it as a doorstop. You have to be comfortable enough to shoot it, and you have to go practice. Kevin Little, I tried finding the video that you mentioned, a list of banks to pull your money out of. I never made a video like that. What were they again? The two, like I said, personal recommendation I would never do business with are Bank of America and Wells Fargo. Okay, I didn't make any list of banks not to work with or whatever. So, but I just said those are two I would never do business with. Brian B., how do I think the stock market will react to that bank collapse? Well, if you saw what happened on Thursday when the stock collapsed, I mean, the banking index, all the bank stocks, I think were down almost 7%, just the bank stocks. They recovered a little bit on Friday because they got oversold, but it's gonna freak out the investors in bank stocks right now. But the one that's more worrisome is the tech stocks. Okay, that's the bigger worry with all of this. You're gonna, again, remember, you're not gonna hear 100% of the truth, and out of our media, you're gonna be lucky if you hear 10% of the truth. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, whoever would be, they're all gonna say, "Oh, we're a big bank. It won't, nothing like that would ever happen to us." Da 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 da. And then anybody with two brain cells go, wasn't that what Washington Mutual said too? So I still get the feeling we are in for a kick in the balls in the stock market here real soon, because I don't think this is the last bank that we're going to see collapse, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see another one in the next week or so. Tristan, thank you for the super chat. This is for stackers. Okay, silver stackers, I'm assuming. Shackman explained ways around the tax code in the latest Silver Slayer video. Very important until total collapse. Okay, there you go. I mean, as for tax code, I mean, most states you're not paying income, or you're not paying sales tax on it before, and unless you're holding paper silver or paper gold or whatever it is, it's not reportable anyway. So there's not a whole lot in the way of tax code that stackers have to worry about anyway. You're basically, even though it's got monetary value, you're basically holding a collectible. And with everything I've got, I couldn't tell you what my cost basis is. I don't have a freaking clue. I mean, I got a general idea of a range, but I mean, I couldn't report it. You go out and buy an ounce here and an ounce there and an ounce, and they all look the same. And it's, who knows? Daniel Pounders, is Monday going to be FUBAR for banks? We'll know Monday. Okay, it depends. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I wouldn't want to have a whole lot of money in the banking sector right now. I don't want to have a whole lot of money in the banks, and I certainly don't want to be invested in the banking sector right now. Michael Bettis, any thoughts on copper bullion? I've got a couple 100 ounces of copper bullion. Not that it's any big deal. I mean, it's probably worth $300. It's probably never going to be used for currency of any sort. You'd have to own a boatload of copper to ever make any money on it. Okay, I mean, just by weight, it's not worth it. So I've got a little bit just in case. Okay, but it, I wouldn't suggest anybody go out and buy a bunch of copper. I mean, you'd have to buy thousands and thousands and thousands of ounces to make. I mean, copper will move a penny a day or something like that. That's it. And go, ooh, I went from $400 to $400.40. Yeah, you know, that's it. Lilbeth Walker, what can I do to stop my cucumber seedlings from being long and leggy? You've got them way too far from the light. They are reaching for the light. First off, if you have them on still on heat mats, there's a problem. Okay, that's one reason. Second off, you need to have those seedlings no more than about 2 inches from the light. That's it. Okay. Until you get them outside, they need to be close to the light. If you don't, the light's up here, they're going to stretch for the light. That's what's making them long and leggy. So you need to keep them close to the light. You want them short and stocky. What can you do to stop it? I mean, it's not like you can wash them in hot water and they're going to shrink. So right now, when you transplant them a little bit deeper. You know, it's not like they're going to grow roots like a tomato does or something like that, but you can hold off a little bit with it, but get that light close to them. Rhonda Long, have I ever planted according to phases of the moon? I've heard of it, never done it. I have heard of it. I can't tell you if it works, if it doesn't work, anything like that. Some people swear by it. I've never paid attention to it, and I get vegetables every year. You know, always have something that fails every year, but so does every other gardener. But no, I've never planted by face of the moon. I don't think it's any, you know, for all I know, it was like they counted how many phases of moon after, you know, or how many full moons there were after the last snow, and that's how it came up with it. You know, I don't think it makes a lick of difference if the sun is waning or if the moon is waning, if it's waxing, whatever it would be. You know, how much, seriously, how much light do you think plants are taking in at night because it's a full moon? Okay. How many more banks do I think will go belly up? I have no idea. I mean, that's blink, throw a dart at a dartboard and come up with the number. So, let's see. Desert 76 Benziga article with the guy who predicted Silvergate and SVB says watch Signature Bank next. Okay? I mean, I'm going to watch any of them. I mean, this is it. You know, it's like I said to you guys, have your money in a couple of different banks. I don't care if you've got $1,000 in the bank. Have 2 bank accounts at $500 a piece. Okay? You know, have one that's got your checking account and have one that's got your savings account. Something, anything, because at least that way you know you have access to some of your money. It's not like everything goes, you know, up in a puff of smoke all at once. Linda Smith, what company would I recommend checking into for investing in silver? Okay, I don't. If your question's asking what I think it is the way it's written, I don't recommend that at all. Okay, I don't recommend anybody investing in silver. In other words, buying paper silver or silver mining stocks or you know, the silver index or something like that. No. If you're asking what companies I recommend to purchase silver rounds or silver bars for your possession, I'll tell you the ones I've said all the time. You do SD Bullion, JM Bullion, BGASC are 3 bullion dealers. There's also Gainesville Coins. If you look at GainesvilleCoins.com, they usually have the best prices on silver rounds that I can find on the internet. The problem is they charge for shipping, and the other ones give you free shipping. Well, if they're charging, I'm just going to make up numbers. Let's say if all the bullion dealers are charging $22 an ounce for silver, including the premium. And Gainesville's charging 21 and a quarter. You go, cool, I'm going to get it from Gainesville. It's 75 cents cheaper, until you realize they're charging $1 per ounce in shipping. And you go, okay, now it's more. So, you got to figure out the total price in there. But those are the four places that I look at all the time. But if you're asking about investing in silver, I'm going to tell you, don't do it. Da, da, da. Going hot. Hey, pinball, favorite knife, folding or fixed? Each one has their place. Okay. I carry a folding knife with me all the time. I'm not carrying a fixed blade around here. A K-bar is a great knife to have. That's what I've got sitting in my bug out bag, but it's not like I'm carrying that with me. I'll carry a pocket knife all the time. And, I've got a real nice Olight knife that I showed you guys, a year ago or whatever it is. And that thing's great. And I got a little Smith & Wesson knife that is very good. So, which one am I going to have more use for in day-to-day things? Yeah, I'm going to cut a piece of string, take a piece of plastic off or something like that. Pocket knife. I'm not going to whip out this big old K-bar and go, hey, let me cut this zip tie. So, yeah, but both have their place. Ooh. The hairs. What do I suggest for squash boards? I think somebody asked this question in every live stream. Wrap the stems of your squash in aluminum foil. That'll solve your problem real quick. Groundhog. I have a vole problem. What's your thoughts on how to get rid of them? People ask this one all the time. I have never had a vole problem, so hopefully somebody else has got an answer for you, because I don't have one. Okay. KY Preparedness, what's the best way to pay for silver? I see the website show it's cheaper to pay by wire. I just do the e-check. That's the easiest way for me to do it. It's cheaper than doing it. Certainly don't do it on a credit card. Okay. I'm hoping nobody's wasting money on crypto. But e-check is the easiest way to do it. And then I just get the free shipping. And sure, it takes 2.5 weeks for everything to get to me. It's fine. My price was locked in. I know it's coming. I've got a receipt. These are legitimate businesses, reputable bullion dealers. I'm fine waiting. And when it shows up, it shows up. Then it goes in the safe and I'm good. Misfit Mountain Family Farm. Did I find a place to get fish for my pond? So I talked to the local co-op, and they actually have fish day here. There's a guy from Arkansas who comes all the way out to little Claiborne County Co-op and brings a truck with the fish in it. But I talked to him. Did I plant onions? Wednesday or Thursday. I called them and said, do they know when fish day is yet? And no, they don't. So I said, just keep checking in with us. So should be pretty soon though. But all I'm getting this year, my bluegill and then some fathead minnows to put in there and let the bluegill grow up a little bit before I put some bass in there. Otherwise, the bass would eat all the bluegill and I'd have nothing. So, I'll give the bluegill at least until the fall, but probably until the spring. And I think I'm only going to put like 6 or 8 bass in there. The pond isn't big enough to support much more. So, besides, I have more fun fishing for bluegill than bass anyway. Bluegill fight more. RL, yeah. Gun shop with a range usually have rentals to see what you like. Yeah, that's another good idea. Yeah, Joel, I see you putting all the Tennessee 7, Ohio 8, Kansas 9. No, those aren't the college basketball rankings. I know that. Let's see. Bad joke. Not that I care less about basketball. Gary Michael, this is an interesting question. Do you recommend to have 2 different calibers of handguns or just one? Depends on how much of I'll just use the term, how much of a gun nut you are. Okay. I mean, I've got friends that have 40, 50, 60 some odd guns in their safe. They're not all the same caliber. Okay. You get gun collectors and have whatever, whatever. But one, one or two, in my opinion, okay, is all that you need. I mean, the handguns we have around. Well, actually, we've got three, because we've got a 22 LR pistol that Mrs. P carries. We've got a 380 that both of us carry, depending on the clothes we're wearing, and then I've got a couple of 9mm pistols. But yeah, I mean, we've got 122 that was her first gun. Then we've got the 380, which now winds up her concealed gun. See, the reason I say it is because you really I have interchangeability with my Shield or my CZ, for example. Okay, they both take 9mm. They're guns made by two completely different manufacturers, everything like that. But they eat the same food. You know, my Scorpion. There's another one. It's 9mm. It's less ammo that you have. You can get more of one caliber. How do I put this? I'd rather have 10,000 rounds of one caliber than 1,000 rounds of 10 calibers, because when you run out of that 1,000 rounds, that weapon's now useless. Okay. Now I know what somebody say. Well, when you run out of the 10,000 rounds, all your weapons are useless. Okay. Hope to God I never get in a situation where I run out of 10,000 rounds. But I get it. My personal opinion, less is more. Let's see. Debbie Avone, is Citizens Bank also not good? I haven't heard anything bad about Citizens Bank, so I mean, there must be a conversation somewhere between you guys, because I didn't say anything about them. John Zeckerly, did I get my package? Guys, I haven't been to the post office in more than a week. So if there's something that's waiting for me at the post office, I apologize. I have had people coming between Lowe's delivery with some trim wood for the garage, and I had the guys out here for the dump of the compost the other day that I need to till into the backyard. I haven't even had a chance to go to the post office. So, it's like, how this is. We'll be there between 8 and 8. And so you got to sit around and wait all day, and then they show up at 6 o'clock. It's like, well, thanks. You could have told me that it was going to be this afternoon. I could have done something. So, if you've sent something to me, guys, I apologize. I just haven't got to the post office yet. Diane Polk, please explain what's wrong with Wells Fargo so that I can explain it to my mom. They're just crooked. Okay. I mean, you saw all the stories, what was it, a couple of years ago, about the Wells Fargo employees making up accounts so that they could collect bonuses. That's happened a couple of times over there. My personal experience, Wells Fargo completely screwed up my mortgage, lost my escrow, and then said I never got it. And I'm like, this is back in the day when you were writing checks. Okay. Here are all my canceled checks for what my mortgage payment was. It wasn't just the principal. It wasn't just the interest. It was principal, interest, and escrow, right? For property taxes and insurance. And I had to go round and round and round with them until they finally gave me the escrow back. And then once they finally gave the escrow back, they didn't pay the property tax on time and then tried to blame it on me when there was a late fee. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do. Wells Fargo will do anything they can to screw the customer. Trucker Jim, if there's more bank failings in the United States, I wonder how long before we feel it in Canada. I wouldn't think it'd be long. You'll probably, Canada and the United States are so intertwined in pretty much everything. The financial system's just another one. So, yeah, You guys will feel it quick enough. Uh, yeah, Cushnet Prepper, good reminder. Don't forget to turn your clocks ahead an hour tonight. Daylight savings time. We all lose an hour sleep tonight, guys. So when you wake up in the morning and I'm not there, it's probably because I'm an hour behind because I'm still sleeping. I'm going to get my normal 6 hours or whatever I get. Uh, a Staten 85 home affordable mortgage program, I believe, but you have to be working even with a big pay cut. Okay, I don't understand what the context is whatsoever, so I can't make a comment on it. Let's see. Yeah, big kid, that copper may come in handy to repair things in the future. Yeah, I could see it's like, oh, we need some copper. Hey, I've got a whole bunch. There's a bunch of 1 ounce rounds I've got and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we'll just melt them all down and we'll make our own little blacksmith shop or whatever it would be. Like, yeah, we'll just turn it all into pipe. Okay. Tristan Davis, he told about selling it. Okay, this is again going back to the gold and silver. 1099B. Gold is dependent on whether it is sovereign. Silver, anything under $1,000 is non-reportable, or 1,000 ounces is non-reportable from the dealer. Right, and it's no different with the same thing of putting $10,000 in cash in your bank account. Okay, never do it because then it's reportable by the bank. So you go into the bank, you deposit $9,000, you go in the following day and you deposit another $9,000 and move on. Okay, it's the same thing with silver. You're not going to go sell 1,000 ounces of silver in one day. So I mean, think about it. Right now, if you're selling 1,000 ounces of silver right now, it's 200 grand. So where are you going to take? Who's going to give you? Who's going to have the cash to buy 1,000 ounces of silver right now? And no, I'm doing that wrong. It's 20 grand. I'm sorry. Okay. Like I said, my brain is mush today. I'm sorry. Cat C, should I stop paying into my 401k? I'm not going to recommend anybody do that, especially if you get a company match, because that's free money. Okay. If you're worried about the stock market, then just move the money into the money market fund that you got, cash option in your 401k, and that way you don't have any market risk. So, Trucker Jim, Wells Fargo was up in Canada a few years ago. They ended up leaving Canada. Not too sure why. Wouldn't be surprised if the Canadians told them to get out. Okay. Though Trudeau would probably go, hey, I want 10% for the big guy too. Will you give it to me? Who knows? Pam Fury, what about saving your change in the coin form? Some are good metals. Yeah, anything that you get is pre 1965, 1964 and before. Yeah, that's good. That's junk silver. That's what we talk about. 1964 and before, save that. Your dime is worth a lot more than 10 cents. Your quarter is actually worth probably somewhere around $4. So, just give you that as an idea. Vester Dillon. I started buying pure silver shots. I have everything to smelt and pour my own coins. The problem is nobody's going to take them. Okay. Because, well, I won't say nobody, but you're going to pour your own coins, and are you going to be exactly accurate to a troy ounce? Are you going, is somebody going to know if it's 0.9, 0.99, 0.999, 0.9999 pure silver? No. Then they're going to get out those who have the ability to test it, either with an electronic testing equipment or with the cards and things like that. Your coin is not going to fit any of the standard dimensions. So while it's good to have, and some people may take it, there's a lot of people that probably won't. Just giving you a heads up. Carl Lynn, why are my peas turning yellow from the bottom? You are probably it sounds to me like you're burning the roots is what it is, that you've got too much fertilizer in with them. But again, I don't know what your water schedule is. I don't know what your soil's like. Uh, yeah, unfortunately, I can't give you an answer because there's way too many things it could be. All right, we shot to the bottom, so I'm trying to figure. Prep Rebel. Is it necessary to ring your onions? It's probably not, but it definitely is a good idea to do it because you're trying to get that bulb to expand, and the less resistance it has, the more ability it has to expand. So, if you've got extremely soft soil, probably not. Okay, but anything. I mean, you're gonna go through a paper towel. It's gonna take some sort of force to get through it. You know, you don't have to, but you're just gonna get chances are bigger onions if you do because there's no resistance on it. Breed. Beneficial nematodes work wonders on grubs. Yep. So does what's the stuff I put out there? Milky spore. Amy Arsenault, what does ring your onions mean? When the onions finished its green growth and it starts bulbing, basically you get out and around the stem, you start pushing the dirt away from the stem so that onion bulb, you can actually start seeing the top of the onion bulb. So you're kind of removing the soil away from around the bulb. Mama Bear, what's an e-check? Never heard of that. Basically, you're getting online and giving your routing number and your account number and authorization for them to print a check. I mean, e-checks have been around at least since the 90s. I remember doing them with bill collector. But you're giving them your routing number and your account number. Basically, they're doing an ACH transfer off of that. So. Joseph Cook, I've been dealing with money metals with no problems. Yeah, that's another one. I've never used them, so I can't vouch for them. But yeah, I mean they're another reputable bullion dealer. Country Humans Network, what's silver sticks? I've never heard of silver sticks, so I don't know what they are. Fastball 2611. I've bought silver from SD Bullion, silver dollars. When SHTF, how will we barter them? It's again, there's going to have to be some sort of currency, and I've kind of explained this before. Let's say you want a can of beans, okay, and I've got a can of beans, but you'll trade that to me because you want a can of beans. I've got a can of beans. What do you have that I want for that can of beans? Well, I've got cans of tuna fish. I don't want cans of tuna fish. Well, I've got bullets. I don't want bullets. You're gonna need to have some sort of common currency that will be used for trade. You come up and say, I've got silver. Oh, okay, because I'll take the silver because then hey, I need to go get fabric from somebody. And they don't want cans of beans that I have, but they'll take the silver. So I mean, everybody's going to have something, but if I'm the only one with cans of beans and you don't have anything I want, you're not getting any cans of beans. So. Debs, Pinball, have you and Mrs. P spent time out on your island? A couple of minutes looking at how the flowers we planted out there, if they survived over the winter, that was about it. No, we haven't done much in the backyard. The backyard will look very different in a couple of weeks because hopefully, if we're not supposed to get all this rain tonight, which I wish would stop so I can do this stuff in the backyard. is we're going to get out and tractor the entire backyard and do this and get grass planted out there and start getting some greenery in. So once we get that done, then I can start putting my herbs and my flowers and bushes and everything like that in and start building the backyard, hidden in plain sight. 9:59. Okay, so we're at the end. Huts John, when are you going to review the Glock 20 with the 9-inch Lone Wolf barrel? You will not see any more gun videos from me at all. Okay. YouTube came up with the thing where you can't even show a weapon on a live stream anymore. But ever since they gave me the strike for showing you the Scorpion, I mean, I'm like, seriously, I went like this and showed a weapon, and they gave me a strike for it. When there's guys out there going, yeah, I got a 50 cal, and I'm just going to go blow up a bunch of stuff, and that's totally fine. But if I go like this, it's a strike. So, no, I'll keep myself out of trouble. This has never really been a gun channel anyway. I think I've done 2 videos with guns in it since the start. So, no, there won't be any more gun videos. So. All right, guys, that is 10 o'clock. Thank you all. Have a very good evening. Stay safe. And if we're late tomorrow, it's because the clock's changed. Have a good one, y'all. Pinball out.